limping into the playoffs. Got my booster shot yesterday. I got mental fog, but I'm feeling good. Welcome back to the Why Do Boys Make podcast. I will be your host this week. My name is Fitzy, but I am not alone. You all know this. I'm joined by my lovely co-host, Michael Corbett. Corby, how are you doing this week?
Hey, I'm great. Feels great to be on bye and not have to worry about a single thing, except for spending all of your fab on Rashad Penny.
You know, you can't take it with you. I love the move. We'll talk about it more later. But speaking of goodbye, you know, being good on a bye, we'll say hello to our guest this week. Our guest this week is the only multi-time champion of the Why Do Boys Play Games League. So if anyone knows the answer to why we play, it's gonna be him. Chris, welcome on the pod.
Oh my gosh. So glad to be here. Thank you for having me here today. Maybe gonna be another winner this year, so we'll see.
Somebody has to win. That's exactly right. So without any further ado, Chris, let's just get right into it.
Wait a second there, Sonny, because there's another guest on the pod this week. That's right. You left this as a public session, and here I am. I'm here to clear up all the false accusations about me, and I'm here to say what's what today.
How did you get in here? Corbett, did you invite him?
Yeah.
Nice.
Mystery solved.
Mystery solved.
All right. So Colin, I want to invite you along to ask Chris a couple of questions here because you've been asked a couple, and I'm going to get to the bottom of this with Chris. So Chris, we'll start things off with the first question that we ask every guest. Why do boys play games?
That's a good question. You know, I don't think anyone's been able to answer it yet, and I don't think you'll have an answer today. I was thinking that one of our student athletes in the league would have answered the question, but alas, last week I think was the last opportunity for Stephen here. So
still searching, soul
searching, really. That's it. And I think when Holly posed the question, she really channeled her inner Plato and came up with something really good.
Speaking of really good things, you've been living in Florida for a while now, and I've come to understand that you really like it. You know, you have a good time. What's your favorite thing about being there?
Florida, home of Bella Danger, Riley Reid, Dillian Harper. You know, I don't know. I like
Greek philosophers like Plato.
Other philosophers like Plato. So, some great ones, but you know, Florida's more than that. It's more than the sunshine. It's a great diverse state, you know, and that's what drove me to come down here, you know, escape the parents' ugly divorce and get to a place where, you know, you really can just relax and, you know, live the island escapism life.
Yeah, and what better place than DeBerry to live out your life stream, huh?
Well, I don't know if you've been watching the local CNN and or Fox News whenever you fancy, but DeBerry recently made headlines with the local DeBerry Diner. I don't know if you've seen that at all. DeBerry Diner shut its doors to all Joe Biden voters.
Okay.
How do they know?
Right.
You have to show, is it like a vaccination card? You have to show your Trump card. Oh, it's a Trump card.
Well, Mike Bokuniewicz actually ate there quite a few times, but I don't think since.
Sad to see a local star like the DeBerry Diner falling. Speaking of the stars, Chris, I want to ask you something here. I want to get to the bottom of the inspiration for your team name this year. Female Shepherd adorned with a cheese-headed man as your picture. Tell me about this.
Well, I was playing the Mass Effect remastered trilogy. Love the game. You know, Colin first let me borrow his copy in high school, and it's a great game. So I was playing that. I'm like, I'm gonna roll a FemShep this time. You know, I think cooler character, good voice actor for one, and for two, I think just the story as a woman is more cool. As far as the Cheesehead Man, I don't know. I just didn't change it. There comes a point when you kind of just give up on the frills in the league and you just leave things where they are.
Right after the draft is a pretty common time for that, so I understand.
I was really disappointed that you never took advantage of the fact that you have Sterling Shepard on your team. and that you.
Oh, damn.
That was the reason, actually, that
Uh,
I did it, but I completely forgot. So thanks for reminding me, Colin.
Not too late.
Um,
I think you still have him.
We'll figure it out. Hopefully by the end of the season, we'll be able to do something here. But I don't know. This year was a tough year. I was feeling good after the draft, and it all just fell apart. But that's how it goes. It was a tough year for fantasy, for everyone in the bottom 6 of this league. They understand. Not that you guys could, but
Yeah, it's hard to even understand what you're saying over Zoom because your feeble language does not go with my enlightened brain. Anyways, let's move on. Let's keep going here. Chris, we went out to dinner multiple times while you lived here. What northern restaurant here do you miss the most? And like, what was your favorite meal that you would get there?
I think you asked me this question as a friend. I think you just asked me this question a few months ago when you were down here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just out of friendship. You
I
said,
can't remember.
"What do you miss most about, or what northern restaurant do you miss most?" And my answer was then, and it's the same now. The 99. I don't know if you've been there recently, but the 99, specifically the fish and chips at 99, with a Bud Select, hell of a meal. And that's something I would probably get at least 1 to 2 times per week, and I was living up there. So
Oh my God.
I do really miss that as a staple in my diet.
Sounds great. I love a fish and chip.
Absolutely. And Colin, I want to make sure that you're feeling welcomed here as well. I want to know, what's your favorite snack to split with Adelaide? Like, you crack it open, she wants it, but you got to get yours too.
When you have a baby and then you go shopping for food, it brings back a lot of memories of being in like kindergarten. You got your cheese dip sticks. You remember those?
Yeah.
That I got started getting was like those Ritz sandwich crackers, peanut butter. And so I get those, and like Adelaide likes Ritz, she likes peanut butter, and then I feed them to her, and she doesn't really like them that much, but I like them, so now I just eat them. And I'm like, "Hey, Adelaide, you want some?" She says, "No," and I just eat them now. So it's not, we don't really split it anymore. I kind of just eat it in front of her and offer her some as an excuse. But yeah, she's very picky, so she mostly just eats dirt and rocks and stuff.
Nice. Very well balanced diet. Speaking of people who are well balanced, I'll pose this question to anybody in the room. Time Magazine just announced that their person of the year is Elon Musk. Do you think that this is appropriate? If you don't think so, and you have any idea for who should be Time Person of the Year, who would it be?
Grimes. Way to bag him, Grimes. She was just some weird alternative singer or something from Canada or whatever. And now she's got it made. She's got like a weird list.
They're getting divorced, right?
Oh, really?
I think so.
Good for her. Get that Bezos ex-wife money. She does the theme song for Hilda. You seen that on Netflix?
No.
No.
Right.
I think Tom Brady would be a better choice. Honestly, though, I mean, Super Bowl winning Tom Brady, he comes down to Tampa. So much so that Corby's wearing a shirt of Tom Brady. 2 years ago, if you ask Corby, would he be wearing a Tom Brady shirt?
Never.
No. I mean, to change the opinion of Corby, I think, is enough to make him the Time Man of the Year.
One time picked you. They were like, you did it.
That was fucking stupid.
Like 14 or something, 2014.
Was it just like a mirror?
I think so.
No, like I don't know. It's been it's been a long year, like the Capitol riot happened this year. GameStop happened this year. So I guess like Keith Gill, I had to Google his name to remember, but like Keith Gill's the guy that drove the GameStop
fucking value.
Deep fucking value, aka
value.
Keith Gill. He has actually changed the way that the world works, I think.
Yeah.
In kind of weird ways. Like, I don't know if we have NFTs in quite the same way that we do without Keith Gill being the small domino in that combustion here. So I got to give mine to Keith, for better or worse.
It's a real thoughtful answer. I like that.
I would also say Tom Brady. That was my answer.
So
Keith Gill did to me. I mean, I made it all back, but at
one
one point
you got rich.
Do you see it?
Oh,
do you see it? It's red.
Oh, the other way around.
But I mean,
you invested in GameStop? I didn't know this.
That was early on. Well, I got it at the peak, and then it all went down. But then it went back up, and then I just was like, I'm never doing that again. I think I lost like $700.
Mike, if you're listening, quick shout out for the only person who I think I know who profited off of Doge. and that's kind of hearsay. I think Mike's a Doge guy.
I made like, well, I mean, this isn't. I made a
Go
lot
ahead, Brad.
on Tesla. That's how I got all that money is from Tesla.
Shout out to Elon would be.
So Elon Musk is.
Elon
Elon.
made me a lot of money.
There we go. Full circle.
Next up, I want to have a little bit more fun here. Not that we're not having fun, but this one's less serious. And I got to ask another group question. Anybody here have a favorite fantasy football team name that you've had that you kind of think is underrated? Colin, we'll kick it to you first.
Underrated. I mean, mine get usually great acclaim, but I've got one that I feel like really didn't get the credit it deserves, and it's not from this league, but it's Breedis and Burkhead.
Fucking no, dude. That name sucks, dude. No.
And Matt Breida and Rex Burkhead. And it's Breedis and Burkhead. It's like Beavis and Butthead. Breedis and Burkhead.
3 out of 10.
No, come on.
I think it's up there. Honestly, I'm giving that like an 8 or a 9. I agree with you, Colin. I like a team name.
He's a hater. He's just saying that because he beat me. Thanks for knocking me out of the playoffs in 2 leagues, by the way, in that league and in Untitled and 2 tight end. So thanks a lot.
This is why I didn't invite you on the pod. You were gonna attack me.
You attacked me. You took away all my money.
Well, go ask Elon.
I would have got knocked out.
I would say from my teams that I've liked, again, not a team name in this league, Keenan and Kelsey was definitely a good one. Some honorable mentions, just Rex Ryan from Cash. And from this year, Mount Rushless is one of the greatest names of all time.
That's Fitzy, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, it's not underrated. So I guess I can start with Amari Cooper Cup, Corby, because I know you love that one.
Dude, that one's so good.
But honestly, for me, I gotta go way back. I had so much fun early on as Sneed's Angels. I don't think just naming a team after Willie Sneed. There's nothing clever about that. But Sneed's Angels was good, and then I also had a picture of Luba, and my team name was the Young Wives, which I had a lot of fun with. Chris, do you have an answer here?
I honestly,
for your team names.
I was trying to think of that actually, of my previous names, and I don't even know what my team was before this. In any league, I know Kansas City Chiefs in the $100, and I know FemShep in this league. I can't remember. No idea. How do you guys remember? Can you look it back up?
Yeah.
You can look it back up. If you go to change your team image, then you can go back in time to see what it was. Now for you, it might just be the Cheesehead. Bombers football. You were Bombers football. You remember
Bombers
that?
Football.
Bombers football, yeah.
I've never been into the puns. You got to really be clever to come up with something good there, and that I am not.
So Chris, I wonder if you remember anybody else's team names who you want to highlight as like one that you've always liked. So shouting out not yourself, but do you have a team name from somebody else that you really enjoyed?
You guys changed them too much. I have no idea. I like Corby's name right now. Tom. It's simple. It lets me know who it is automatically by looking at it. I wish everyone just put their own name actually as the team name, so I could.
Come on.
You like Tyler?
I've always liked Tyler as I mean, it's easy, it's efficient. I don't need to guess what I'm looking at. It's bad enough seeing 3 Chris's on here and not knowing who it is, But no, I cannot. I have the memory of like a duck. I cannot remember like these.
You don't remember that ducks have any? They don't. Is that notorious? Do they have a bad memory? Ducks.
I don't know.
I've never heard that. I think you forgot which animal has a short memory.
I would assume a duck doesn't have a great memory.
A goldfish?
No, they got great memories. That's a myth.
That's true.
They got memories of a.
I think birds
smarter than dogs. I think bears.
Birds. I said bird. No, I said I think birds are smart. Like aren't crows like meds? I mean, ducks aren't crows, but.
Oh well, yeah. An intelligent raven is, yes, but a duck, a water bird, no
Waterfowl.
No birds that swim in the water are smart.
Okay, speaking of birds and swimming in the water, let's move on to the power ranking section here, where we have Googled Florida sayings. And Chris, based on your experience in beautiful DeBerry, we want to see which ones are from the worst Florida sayings that you never say or never hear to the ones that you think of as like, that's Florida, right?
The last one, Florida, where even sand is wrinkly. Don't like it. I don't get it. Don't like that one. Wish you didn't even include that. I wish it was 1 out of 9 here. But we'll forego that one. Well, I don't say any of these, but the other one, America's Wang. I don't say it. I get it. It's funny. Then probably third one that I don't say the most is the Plywood State.
I gotta ask, because this was actually number 2 on the list when I looked it up. What does that mean?
I don't know. I have no idea. I've bought plywood in Florida for the first time. I've never bought plywood before, but was able to this year actually. So that was cool. But I think it's just like anywhere else. You know, it's the same wood that you get. So I don't really know why that is. I've never heard that before. And actually talking about it is now making me angry. So I don't want to look at that anymore. We are not exposed to ice much in Florida. It's true. We're number 1 weight recount. Again, funny. I think Florida gets a bad rap, though. I think it's a bad rap. Florida's like Southwick. You know, it's not great, but it's not the worst thing either. You know,
Southwick's basically the tropics of Massachusetts. I get it. Absolutely.
Okay, I'm actually changing that because that's not true. That's a bad comparison. I actually don't want to be on record of even saying that. So disregard that. But regardless, that'll be that one. Was there a recount in Florida? Is that a thing? Oh, was that 2004 or 2000?
I thought it was 2000.
2000. Yeah.
You guys know your politics better than me, so
No.
I like this one. So it'll be up there. Is the step into Florida, the most sizzling state in the nation?
It's a good one.
I like that one. As someone who visited a few different sizzling places in Florida this year, you know, I went down to Siesta Key, you know, the MTV show. Got to live out my MTV dream there, you know, and it is sizzling. It's hot, spicy, and again, some of the best actresses in the nation are from this state. So sizzling it is. Never too hot for a Kevlar vest. That's actually kind of sad. Unfortunately, a lot of gun violence down here. In my own town, quite a bit of gun violence. Florida is just a little more dangerous than anyone else. I keep telling that to my mom, and she doesn't want to hear it. It is though. It's just not safe.
Well, so let me get this straight. You moved away from your mother, and instead of saying, "Oh, don't worry about me, I'm fine," you're trying to convince her that it's dangerous.
No, I'm trying to convince her to move down here. However, it is a little bit dangerous. It is. It's okay. So yeah, that's a good one. Just because the gun violence. All right.
It's because of the gun violence.
Well, there's 2 gun ones on this list, but one is actually is pretty good, and there's a reason that's that number 1. I really like. Okay, so now we're down to a few more, which I like all of them. God's Waiting Room, which is classic. Mike says that all the time, and that's why I moved down here, because if it's good enough for the old people, then you know it's good enough for me, and so I like that one. And then Florida, the Gunshine State. That's funny. I haven't heard that, but it's funny. A lot of gun stores down here. I don't know if you've seen the gun stop in DeBerry. That's a good one. It has the GameStop logo. There's also a store near me called Guns and Comics. Very cool. They sell like real guns, and they also sell like Funko Pops. So it's pretty neat.
Can you like get a hook for them? You can hook them up as like an ornament on your gun.
You got to see the store. This is the most wild thing. It's just actually called Guns and Comics, and they sell both on their website. And then the last one that I really like is Just Visit Florida, because I actually do say that to all my friends. I say, come visit Florida, and they do. So glad to have you guys down in Florida for this Christmas.
It's a great list, Colin. I want your take. Is there one that Chris put on here that you would have ranked higher?
Well, I think the reason it's called the Plywood State is that the hurricane damage is so bad that there's like the houses are always having plywood like patching up holes and stuff, and so I think that might have the confusion might have really just brought that one down a bit. Or maybe it's called the Plywood State because plywood trees are the national state tree. They're not the national state tree, but
So in any case, you would have put the Plywood State over we are not exposed to ice much in Florida.
Yeah, I like America's Wang too.
Yeah.
I like a good PP joke.
Speaking of wangs and peepees, let's move over to talk about last week's matchups. In the beginning of the Consolation Sensation tournament, we've got Mike versus Chris P, where Mike wins. Your hosts picked Mike, the coin picked Chris P, and Steven picked Chris P. My notes for this one were basically just, Mike, congratulations on not being the 12th seed anymore. That's got to feel great. Will you be the champion of the consolation round this year? We are about to find out.
I think he might be. His team is getting hot. His team is getting healthy at just the wrong time, like I mentioned before. But like you said, not going to be ranked 12th anymore. That's got to feel great. And also just the pride of winning the battle for DeBerry. Like I said, that Chris, I want your take next. How did it feel losing to Eugene Horowitz and being the one to let him up into 11th for the first time in I don't know how many weeks?
I let him win. I let him win. I knew that, you know, if I beat him, then he would have been upset, and he may not want to hang out on Friday. So this week we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Colin, any thoughts on the matchup?
Fitzy, we had a bet about Michael winning a certain amount of games. Do you happen to have that on record? Do you remember the bet I'm talking about?
I think I remember that we both liked him. Do you remember if you wanted to take the over? Or if I think I took the over.
I know I took the under.
You took
the
under?
What you said it was either 2.5 or 3.5, and I feel like this might have broke it. I feel like you might have.
Oh man, I gotta run back through. We'll flash a graphic up here, and
Okay. So
I don't even know. Do you have Venmo?
No, but we'll figure it out.
All right, cool.
Beyond that,
no, I'll send you a money order. You got Western Union near you?
Yeah, dude, I got a big one. I got those. Yeah, Chris started Allen Robinson, so he started Mike Davis, who actually did okay. He was just asking for a loss, for a big L. No offense.
Next, Colin, I want to keep it right square on you because the next matchup here is you versus Eric. Eric completes the 0-3 to 11-3 sweep of the league as Conky Dong. I mean, you had a shot at a bye here. I want you to talk me through your biggest disappointment from the week.
My biggest disappointment is look at my team. It's got more Qs than a Trump rally. Why is all my players injured? They're all out. It's ridiculous. And Lamar Jackson, I was like, oh, at least I have Lamar Jackson. He gets a point, and then he's gone. So I had to start who? Cortland one catch Sutton and freaking Amir false prophet Abdullah. So
was he even a prophet in the first place?
Yes.
Why?
I still believe, and I might have to
start him.
Have to start him against Taylor. You got a solid 7 points. No, 75 of those. He had 75 return yards, so that must have. I think that got him a lot of extra points. But I mean, McKissick, Hawkinson, Swift, Sanders was on by 2, and Lamar. It was just too much for my team to handle. And Kittle went off again. It was just good for Eric, though. I mean, he had 0 with Terry. It's not like he didn't have his own struggles. So, you know, I think I'm happy to be the end of an amazing story, or maybe not even the end of an amazing story, because maybe Eric wins the championship, goes back to back.
Yeah, I would have liked to see Colin win.
It's nice, Chris. Hunter Renfrow is now the 34th ranked.
Dude, it's crazy.
We're 34, guys.
Speaking of really highly ranked players, let's move on to my matchup against Adam, where I beat Adam by over 90 points. Everybody picked me, even the coin and Steven. Adam, you really are unlucky. Not only did you miss your projection by 55 points, once again, your opponent scores over 180 points against you. Melvin Gordon, welcome back. I missed you. I have the #1 ranked player. Tom Brady is the best.
Yeah, no, it is absolutely incredible. I gotta double check this one. I'm pulling it up right now.
Cup is actually #1.
When I look at Adam,
who?
Cooper Cup in our league.
Oh,
is #1, but
that
Brady's a close second.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right. This is the 5th time that somebody has scored over 180 on Adam. You almost hit him with the hundo. To outscore somebody by 100 is that rare, absolute. Yeah, I got my 2 hundo burger, and you suck. so really, I can't think of a more fitting place for Adam than 12th in the league. It's sad to see.
Yeah.
All I have to say is this is why we need the new rule next year, where if you beat somebody by 75 points or more, you get to change their team name, because this cannot stand, Adam.
Yeah.
It cannot stand.
This all goes back to you guys are talking about people that are lower than you, in the bottom 6. And I don't appreciate that. Adam had some hard times. He also had a great day this year too, becoming the richest friend overnight, seemingly. But no, I don't think anything was unexpected in this matchup.
Yeah, I mean, I won't account that one to luck there, Chris. Adam has long been known for rise and grind. It's kind of his brand. So, it was gonna pay off one day.
So if you look at Adam's team, it's bookended by some great performances by Josh Allen in Tennessee. And then in the middle, it's just a big old poopy sandwich. So he's got high-end artisan bread. And then in the middle is like a Kraft singles, right?
Oh my God.
Kraft singles and spam. Meanwhile, Corbett, you got like a freaking filet mignon all the way through.
Man.
Nobody putting up single digits. Not a single person. It was great. Our next matchup, and now we are into the juicy make the playoffs or miss the playoff matchups. It's Brandy trying to play spoiler against Chris Colby. Chris was picked by both your co-hosts and Steven, but the coin picked Brandy. Unfortunately, the coin was wrong. Chris slides on into the playoffs in convincing fashion. He dropped his second 200 burger of the season. And get this, Corby, you and Chris both have 200 burgers on the season. Both times you put it up in the same week.
Oh, weird.
And both times you would have beaten Chris. In fact, you would have gone an incredible 11-3 against Chris, whose team is pretty good. You guys just had a really crazy correlation there. I look at this one and I got to just say, Brandy, better luck next season. Your team names have been great, and you finish in 7th in the points for tally. We talk a lot about how unlucky Mike has been with injuries and how unlucky Adam's been with points against, but I feel like Brandy's season has been sneaky unlucky too. Brandy and Adam were bunched up with points against over 2,200. The third most was 100 less than them. So really, really unlucky spot to be for Brandy, and maybe not as widely sung as Adam's struggles.
Chris, you punch your ticket to the playoffs. Congratulations. Welcome back. Brandy, you had a solid week. But Chris really wanted the W, right? Maybe you gave it to him. Scores 209 points. Just kidding.
He scored 200 with David Johnson scoring 0. So that's really impressive.
That's what I was going to say. I think he's got a really solid team, some really big guys up there, and they're going to put up consistently big points every week.
He's another league winning year for James.
And yeah, I mean, that's not something at the beginning of the year you would have even thought of. James Conner, you knew Dalvin Cook was going to do good. And then out of nowhere, he pulls out Odell putting up 20 points and AJ Green 17. It was a good week, but I think he'll still put up a fight for the rest of this year.
Next matchup here, we had Fitzy versus Chris Cloud, where Fitzy gets a statement victory here and wallops Chris by nearly 80 points and banishes his ass to the Shadow Realm. Fitzy, way to go. Any thoughts?
I appreciate you being nice, but not heaping on the praise too much, because that's exactly what I deserve. This was an absolute ceiling week from my team. You got the running backs put up exactly what you expect, and the wide receivers all topped out at their highest of high ends. My only highlight is that Tank Commander Davis General Mills was my lucky charm in this breakdown, or in this matchup.
Dude,
what a beatdown. I'm so glad I spent, what was it, like something dumb like 20 something bucks on
this
guy?
Yeah, it was like $23.
Those 20 points could have been on Chris's team. No, he didn't put in a bid at all, but they could have been, and that could have been the difference. So I'm going to take my victory lap while I can on my one broken leg before I get banished to the Shadow Realm myself in week 2 of the playoffs.
Yeah, Fitzy's put it well himself. You look at his running backs and starting both of the Tennessee guys. At least now it looks like there's you know who to start from here on out. But now you've lost Hopkins. Probably, right? I think they're saying for the year.
Yeah, he's out.
It'll be this was hopefully not your swan song, or hopefully if you play me at some point. But yeah, I think you're right about this being a ceiling game. Good W.
Hopkins and Devontae together. If you still had both of them healthy, could make up for some of the underperformers, but I think it's going. You're going to end up down with the B squad.
Thanks, Chris. That means a lot coming from you. Anyway, our next matchup was unbelievably the matchup of the week: Taylor versus Tyler. This was one of the, and I'll just quickly recap. Steven and myself both picked Taylor. Coin and Corbett picked Tyler. This was one of the all-time best injustices. I mean, this was pure swag. For Taylor to win with the following bench, I'm going to start, and I'll just read his bench real quick. This is the epitome of what makes fantasy football so maddening. Jared Goff, Hunter Henry. I got to ask, are these the third and fourth running backs on the Eagles, Boston Scott and Philip Gainwell? And my favorite, Eric completes his clean sweep of the league. Taylor completes the season on hardcore mode, completing the full season with Deshaun Watson on the bench. What an all-time flex to beat the commissioner and sneak on into the playoffs.
That's it. Taylor really is the team of destiny.
Yes.
He just beat a team with Pat Mahomes, Cooper Kupp, and Joe Mixon while he started Keenan Allen, who didn't even play. This is it. He's going all the fucking way, dude. All aboard the train. All aboard, Taylor.
ACLV toot.
Yeah, I can't follow up from that. I agree with everything you said. Definitely really hard for Tyler, who I think had a bad start to the season, if I'm remembering right, but was probably one of the best all-around teams. He must be like top 4 points for, right? So yeah, that's tough for him.
Tyler has a much better team overall. Taylor, if he had any other running backs, he also would probably have a decent team, but yuck.
Yeah, you know, I told you all 2 weeks ago that Tyler was, for all intents and purposes, into the playoffs. And I am very sorry that I cursed you, because I really thought you had a better shot at a bye week than Taylor getting 2 wins in a row while you lose against Mike and Taylor back to back. The playoffs are officially interesting after this.
Dude.
I'm terrified, and I'm playing him in the first round. I'm not to spoil the matchups, but I'm absolutely terrified. I am not expecting a win.
Before we move on, let's get a quick update for the standings on the Pick'em. This week I went 5-1. Fitzy, for the first time this season, somebody went 6-0, picked them all. The Coin, 3-3, and Steve went 4-2. So overall, we're at Fitzy with 53 and 31. We've got me at 49, 35, and the Coin at 40 and 44.
You know, I'd like to thank the Academy, but really I'd like to thank Taylor for making this possible. Moving on from last week, we're getting into the playoffs. But before we go to week 15, I thought we would invite an old friend back onto the pod for a look back and a look forward at the best teams in the league. Tush, over to you.
Thanks, Fitzy. It's me, Tush Speedstein. I had to stop my Hanukkah celebrations to introduce my good friend Coach Fluff. That's right, we're diverse here over at Why Do Boys Play Game Studios. Coach Fluff, why don't you come down over and do your power rankings?
Anytime.
All right. Hello, it's me, Coach Fluff. I'm here to do power rankings. We got a really special episode. It's a little it's succinct this week because we're just gonna do the playoff teams. So let's just jump straight into it, fellas, okay? And nobody get offended because, don't number 6, I put Taylor. And you might think, wait a minute, the team of destiny, you're putting 6? Well, he's starting Latavius Murray, and I don't like it. 5th, Fitzy, I'm sorry. You already knew.
I'm surprised I wasn't 6th, to be totally honest.
I was thinking, but I just couldn't. It wouldn't be right. I need Taylor needs the non-believers to propel. The haters give him fuel, and if we all like him, then
Exactly.
we'll have no fuel. So 5th is Fitzy. I think if he still had Hopkins and if he was playing up, I think he could bolster. He could make up for those bad running backs. But he's just. I could see it, with the emergence of these Tennessee guys, but someone's got to be 5th. I put 5th. 4th is Colin. Like I said, the injuries are stacking up. Swift, a linchpin of this team. is a question mark. McCaffrey's obviously, everything was going right for this team until it all went wrong. Lamar has been kind of a disappointment all year, really, except for like 1 or 2 games. So that's sad. 3 is Chris Colby. I think Chris, imagine if this team still had Derrick Henry and he had Dalvin Cook and now James Conner. He would be unstoppable, but he doesn't. So he has a good team. He's got Kyler, great player. James Conner, league winner. Dalvin Cook, great team. 2 is Corby. He's got Tom and Matt Stafford, the best quarterback tandem in the league. I've got like I don't have the fetishization for top quarterbacks that I do for pass catching running backs, but, and then number 1, of course, is Eric. It has to be Eric. He's won 11 straight. He could be the first back-to-back champion in Why Do Boys Play Games history. And that is a narrative that I think I might like more than Taylor's. So I'd like to see them compete or can that happen or no? They would play each other first, right?
No, they're playing. If Taylor wins, he's playing him next.
So there goes that Cinderella story. But I think my prediction is Eric wins the league. James Taylor or Jonathan Taylor just had his bye. He's ready to go. He's a big, strong man who's also fast. So we'll see what happens. That was Coach Fluff with the power rankings. I got to take a big old dookie. Wow, that was crazy, dude.
Thanks, Coach. Or I guess, Colin, if you see Coach, tell him we said thanks.
Yeah.
I didn't get a chance to say goodbye. Anyway, goodbye to the regular season and hello to the playoffs. Let's start this week's pick'em with me taking on Chris Colby. Corby, why don't we start with you?
Here we are. This is it. This is the battle of the 2 guys that I feel like have clawed their way into this. Chris was making deals. He traded away one of his best players in Nick Chubb, but he got Dalvin Cook back. Fitzy, you had Trey Sermon on your team for way too long.
And then I started losing.
And then you started losing. Fitzy, to be honest, I do like Chris's team more, but you have some good matchups this week. You've got Cooks against Jacksonville. You've got Hurts, assuming that he isn't hurt, against Washington, who gives up the most fantasy points to any QB in the league. Chris also has the question marks of James Conner maybe not playing, but like Colin said, he is a league winner. With that in mind, Fitzy, I'm rolling with you. I think you can do it.
I appreciate the vote of confidence. And this is, honestly, it's the matchup that I fear the most. I look at Chris's team. You talk about high-end quarterbacks. Kyler Murray is an absolute league winner. And Jimmy Garoppolo, I want to just read off. I really wanted Jimmy Garoppolo. I was trying to trade for all the San Francisco guys I could because this is his playoff schedule. Against Atlanta at home, at Tennessee, a little bit tougher, and then home at Houston for championship week. This guy's going to be scoring at least 20 every week of the playoffs, and he gets to start against me. But when I look at the trends, when I look at the data, Jamar Chase is going to score 13 points this week. So he's missing his ceiling of 20 plus. So because of that fact alone, I've got to roll with myself here. Chris, it's going to be a nail biter, but I got to pick me.
Definitely going Chris here. Just like I was saying, or like Coach was saying in the power rankings, just, Trey Sermon might not have worked out, but Brandon Ayuk, who you stuck with, he's been very good. So, but beyond that, I look at Chris's team and I would love to have that team. Yeah, like you said, Kyler, Garoppolo is kind of underrated. He's got Chase, just so many great names. And then Fitzy's got some great receivers, but I just don't think it'll be enough. I think it could be a close game, but I'm very enamored with Chris's team. He's got he's looking to start 2 tight ends if Wallers plays, and that's always a big flex for me. a literal flex. It's a flex,
right?
But it's about, I always love that move.
Ladies and gentlemen, folks of all walks of life, welcome back. The coin.
The coin, once again, the sons of Aaron, good for 1 drink coin. This week is picking me. May the luck of the Irish be with me.
Our other matchup we have this week is Colin versus Taylor. We've got the team of destiny going up against his old bully, Colin. Taylor says, I lived, bitch. And now he's back for revenge. We really don't need to break this one down. The fantasy gods have decided this outcome already. I know I said that 2 weeks ago that I was done picking Taylor, and I was until I saw Colin's team. So I think Colin, because of all your injuries, and ultimately Conk is not going to be able to carry you to the next round of the playoffs. So give me the 6th seed Taylor.
I'm picking Taylor, absolutely. It's too early in the week to know who's going to play. I've got like, Hawk. If Hawk plays, maybe I'll have to play Conklin. That's something. Really, Swift is the biggest question mark. I don't want to have to play, especially if McKissick sits, because then I'm going to have to play someone like Conk or Sutton, Abdullah, Crowder.
You're not going to play
That's my
Sutton.
options.
Don't
I
fucking
don't-
play Cortland Sutton.
Every week I can convince myself.
Just drop him.
Because they just signed into a huge contract. So I'm like, oh, every week. I know that doesn't mean anything, but
And he's projected for over 10. Look at that, Colin. You love your
I keep
projections.
projecting these guys for huge. But regardless, I'm starting Amon St. Brown. So like this is who I'm starting this week. Then again, I look at Taylor's team and he's starting, like I said, Latavius Murray. He's starting the Broncos tight end, Alex O, who had a good week, but
It's Albert O, by the way.
oh, it's not Alex. I think I did that. I've done that before, right? So I'm picking Taylor.
Colin, you kind of jumped on my only note, really, or not my only note, but my biggest note for the week. Can we take turns trying to pronounce Albert O's name? Corby, you get to go last because you're a Broncos fan. Colin, you get to go second to last because you're also a Broncos fan. Chris, let's start with you. Are you seeing the name in front of you?
Yes. I don't want to admit. I gotta say it. Am I supposed to say it? Oh, jeez. Now this is
Please.
Yes.
Okay. This is bordering.
Be offensive.
Okay, Akwegbunam.
I was going to go very similar. I'm going to say Albert Okweg Bunham.
Albert Antetokounmpo.
Albert Okambolale, I think is how you pronounce it, maybe.
Albert Okamo you faithful.
Yeah.
We'll
I
get
don't
there
know.
later.
Hey, we're not ready for that.
No, so I look at this matchup and we've already basically broken down all the things that can be broken down about it. It's the red Q Storm on Colin's team versus Taylor, who, if I had Latavius Murray, I'd probably start him too, but that doesn't mean a whole lot. I hate to do it, Colin. I'm picking Taylor too. Team of Destiny gets this one done.
I take no offense. I took him myself, but I can't beat this red hot
I don't.
team.
I'm going to go against the grain here. I'm going to pick Colin although I might like some of Taylor's players more. I think Colin is a really solid 10-point team that all of his guys can put up 10 points consistently, more so than Taylor's got some guys that probably aren't going to put up close to anything. I think it's going to be a very even matchup. I think it's going to be a lot closer than I think the expectation is that Taylor's going to blow it out. But I don't think that Colin winning would be a big surprise here.
No, yeah, I definitely don't think it's going to be a blowout. I think it'll be a close game too, but I'm ready to leave work and look at my phone on Sunday and see me project.
You're preparing to lose, so you'll be happy when you win. And you'll be like, wow.
Yeah, right. Get
Chris
pessimistic.
and Colin were right on
be
this one.
pleasantly surprised.
Right. And actually on this one, Chris, you are all alone on Colin Island because the coin in this case is going with Taylor.
Damn it. All right. Colin Island it is.
Now, that's really it for matchups that matter. But just for fun, Corby versus Eric. Picking for bye-week glory. Who's going to put up more points when nothing matters? And I don't really have a note here. I just think that Eric, when he can't lose, might finally take a loss. I think Corby, you're going to put up more points than him this week.
Yeah, I think I'm going to put up more points too. I'm going to be the number one scorer this week. I have the best team.
Corby's going for that glory, but Eric is playing the smart game because it is only Wednesday and he hasn't set his lineup yet. He's keeping his players safe. He's not going to get him hurt. You got Jonathan Taylor on the bench. Daryl Henderson, is he playing? I don't know, but he's on the bench. So I think Eric is playing a smart game, keeping his players healthy.
I think Corby has us by a landslide. I think Corby does have the best.
Corby will
best
score the most,
overall
but
team.
it'll be because Eric is taking it off.
That's fair. If you're adding up all of them, including bench, I still think Corby's going to win.
Next, you guys know I'm a history buff. History of the league, history of the world, and I want to create an alternative history, losers bracket. Welcome. Please join me on my twisted dark fantasy. to find who will be crowned the ultimate loser. You're all seeing this bracket on your screen now. The biggest losers, it's lose in advance. Whoever makes it all the way to the right will have not won a single one of these matchups and will be the ultimate loser of the consolation bracket. You'll note that Adam and Mike both get bye weeks because they were the worst two teams. So they're one win or one loss closer to being the worst. The first matchup we're breaking down is Tyler taking on you, Chris. Chris, let's kick it to you first. Who do you think gets it done?
I think that's not even a question. My team took the biggest nosedive from the draft and the trades that have been made over the season. It was a bad season. The whole season did not work out for me. I think Tyler doesn't have necessarily the worst team, and far better than anything that I'm going to put up. I am the lowest scoring this year, and I'm going to continue to be the lowest scoring this game.
I think Chris Cloud will win because I don't think he'll ever set his lineup. Or he'll lose, if you want to say that.
And who will win in Tyler versus Chris Patenuade?
Matchup?
Yeah.
I meant the whole thing. All right. Are we doing the matchup? Okay. Definitely. Oh, so when I say win, or does that mean lose? Or
you know, you can word it either way.
Chris, I think Chris will move on to the next round. Yeah,
I agree.
Tyler's team.
I also agree.
It sounds like only the coin is picking Tyler to lose here. I think we're dealing with not a pissed off Taylor, but a pissed off Tyler. He does not want to be 7th in the league. I think. Am I right in saying this is his first time ever missing playoffs in Why Do Boys Play Games?
Maybe
So
second time, maybe.
Second, you might be right. It might have been back in 2014 or something like that. But he's feeling the shame, and he's gonna lash out this week. I'm calling it. Tyler might put up the most points in the league down on the consolation bracket. And yes, I will confirm he missed playoffs in 2015, but has not since.
Moving on from there, we've got in our hypothetical matchups, we've got Brandy versus Chris Cloud. I'm going to take Brandy to lose here.
Well, I'll tell you what, the coin's against you. The coin is thinking Brandy's going to get the win, and I totally agree. Chris Cloud, I get the sense, Chris, I know you listen to the pod, but will you set your lineup? Only time will tell. So I believe that Brandy will escape the bracket as Chris moves on to becoming the ultimate loser.
I don't know. I didn't hate Brandy's team. I still don't. I think there's a lot of talent that just is unfortunately not great starter players. As far as Chris Cloud, I think he's going to win. And I think Brandy will be joining me towards the end.
I think Chris Cloud is going to take this in a landslide loss. And
who's going to win? Who's going to win the matchup? Who is going to win the matchup?
How do you win? You score less points?
Who is going to beat their opponent?
You win by scoring more points.
Yes. So just word it like that.
Well, then it's confusing because if you win, then you don't move on in the bracket. I think Chris will score fewer points. He will lose in a landslide loss as he continues his dominance in futile points.
Okay. Yeah.
Chris is a dominant team in this.
This is
the best team in the league in this.
You hear that, Chris? When it comes to sucking, you're number one, friend. Straight from Colin's mouth.
Oh man, this is the darkest part of my dark twisted fantasy here. Now, Colin, I understand you have brought a segment that you would like to debut for us all. Take it away.
So I've been crunching some numbers. Every week I watch you guys and I see people bring in these statistics and data, and you guys pick it apart and analyze it. And it's always one of my favorite things. So I was like, I should do that. Yep. So here we have a spreadsheet that I put together.
What the fuck is this?
This is called the Why Do Boys Play Games player value. It's a scatter chart. Is that what you call it?
Yeah.
Some of it's hard to read at the bottom. So if you look at this, on the y-axis, you have the price paid for every player at the beginning of the year, or for waiver players, they're what you paid for a waiver. And the x-axis, don't pay attention to the numbers, but basically more right you are, the higher ranked. So you got Brady and Cup over here. Can you see my mouse or no?
Yes, we can.
Yep.
So you got Brady and Cup over here, like 1 and 2. You see 160. That's actually like 1 and 2 top ranked players. So what I wanted to do was see the correlation between how much players were paid for and how they performed on the season, and draw some conclusions from that. So there's 4 main quadrants you're going to notice here, right? So you have up here are the studs, the performers. Those are the guys who paid big bucks for, and you got what you wanted. Probably right around Diggs is probably where, like, if you got Diggs, are you disappointed? I don't really think so. He's been okay. But anything before that, you're probably kind of disappointed. Zeke, Kelsey hasn't been great, obviously. There's some outliers here, like Derrick Henry, where it's not like he's underperformed, but they just got hurt. Same with McCaffrey, way over here. And then down low, down here, you got the bargain, the league winners, we can call it, in the lower right. That's the players who didn't cost a lot of money, but scored a lot of points, right? So you got Brady for 20. This is also kind of where the quarterbacks are, because they always generally score the most points. So you got like Hurts, Cousins, but then you also have guys like Fournette. I know this is kind of jumbled up, all these $1 players who like are studs, so it's kind of hard to see. But you can see Cordarrelle Patterson, James Conner, Carson Wentz, Hunter Renfrow, Bridgewater's over here. So these are the guys who can really win you leagues. Mark Andrews, there's some really great values here, and I think we can carry this into next year. Derek Carr, Debo, obviously. And then the fun one kind of is the top left, which is actually kind of empty. And I think that it kind of shows something interesting, which is that the top players generally, you can see a lot more clustered on the right. They're not. I think a lot of people have bemoaned this year as like being the year of the bust. Probably because they're not too much to the right. You see Chubb over here. Hopkins is kind of stuck over here. But I think it's been overstated a bit. Generally, if you pay a lot for a player, they're going to perform. Maybe not up to par, but they'll be like top 40. And then down in the bottom, I mean, those are just like the mediocre players, $1 players that did okay, right? Mike Davis, Kenneth Gainwell, Clyde way over here. So just an interesting thing to look at that I did real quick. It didn't take that long. What conclusions can we draw from it? Not too many. I was hoping for some really breakthrough moments, but you can at least look at players that you have that you're really proud of. Like Eric can look at Cordarrelle, who he drafted, by the way, and never. Wow. He drafted Cordarrelle for $1 and just never dropped him, which is amazing. Wow. Hunter Renfrow, I'm very proud of. All these $1 players, really hard to see, I know. Can you zoom in this? No, I don't know. That's okay. So there's a little chart I put together to make up for the fact that it's short power ranking. All right, that's what we got. We got some giant running backs. Those guys weren't good. You see over here.
You'll notice those guys weren't good. Also, Clyde Edwards-Helaire was not good.
And I'm sure Darryl
those guys. Mike.
That's a good point.
Come on, buddy.
Yeah, that's where you went wrong. Yeah. All right. So
I would be interested in seeing last year's because I don't think I mean, there'd be some similarities though. But Christian McCaffrey, was number 1 last year or number 2, and he was still again number 1. Same with Kamara, Dalvin Cook. All those guys would have been way up top. I think, and Chubb too. He would have been a top last year. So I think a lot of those would have shifted to the right.
Derrick Henry also would have been way more to the right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think that's, like you said, when it comes to the year of the bust, I think a lot of the top people the big spenders did not perform or got hurt and had injuries. So if you drafted a lot of your players in the $40-$30 range, that's where you won the league.
Yeah. So my strategy is to find these players. Why are we spending a lot of money? Just draft these guys.
The strategy is to pay less for very good players. That's really good.
Look at Corby. You see Tom Brady way over here. Matt Stafford over. I know that you didn't draft Matt Stafford. I think Chris did. But yeah, Stafford, Brady's over here. I don't know who else you have on your team, but maybe someone around here. So that's the chart. Again, I wish we could see some of these smaller ones. I'm sure some of them are.
I want to quickly just highlight one point of defense for Mike. Devonta Booker, it looks like he paid $45 for him. That was a waiver pickup.
Yeah. So that
in Mike's in fairness to Mike, he did not draft Saquon Barkley for 48 and Devonta Booker for 45.
Yeah, same thing with like Eli Mitchell, who looks like, oh, that's bad. But
right.
I guess that's not a 1-to-1 thing with waivers, but I didn't really know how to do it. So I had to do it somehow.
Yep.
Also, I did $1 for players like Hunter Renfrow, who like I just picked up. I didn't spend any money on it, but if it was zero,
Ultimate value.
yeah.
Yeah. What do they call? What do you call a segment like that?
Data
Colin's charts.
data corner.
Data corner. Okay. I like Colin's charts better.
Colin's charts. Okay, there's one chart though. I don't got enough. All right, it'll be a yearly segment.
It's like my key store, Corbett's Keys. I sell keys and keyboards.
Corby loves his alliteration. He works backwards. He comes up with the name first, and then he's like, all right, that's the store.
Yeah, I'd like to once again thank you, Colin, for bringing Colin's charts for the first time, hopefully of many. Let's move on to my favorite recurring segment, Bets of the Week, where last week we had some fun on the pod. We started off with a big group bet where Steve says everyone owes him $5 if Jalen Hurts is hurt. He's still questionable, so it's still on the table.
That was the craziest moment. I just felt like we were getting hijacked.
Especially because we hadn't made a bet yet, and he was like, "I got one last minute bet for you." but yeah, it was. I'm ready to request the $5 for him, or pay, however it works out. Looking forward to that one closing out. We also had a bet on between Corby and myself. Javonte Williams total touches 21.5. Corby took the over. Corby, what happened?
Melvin Gordon had 24 carries and Javonte had 16. Fitzy wins. It's a great bet. I don't care. I'm happy.
It was a great bet. I feel like Javonte Williams is so good, but Melvin Gordon is just also pretty good.
Dude. Right. Melvin Gordon still got some gas. I love it.
Yeah.
One of my favorite fantasy players ever. I love him. We also had a bet where we doubled down on Taylor making the playoffs. I said no. Fitzy won, and the team of destiny rolls on.
And that's going to roll us right into this week's matchups. Not matchups, I should say, but this week's bets. But mine's starting with a matchup. And Corby, like you said, doubling down. I think Taylor wins this week.
I also think Taylor's going to win.
Yeah, you guys both picked them.
Yeah, I know. But something like a couple weeks ago,
I know you did the reverse one or whatever.
Yeah, the reverse one.
Well, let's do this. If you think Taylor is going to win, do you think he'll outscore the winner of your matchup?
The winner of my matchup?
Yeah.
No.
You don't think so? I don't think so either.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll call this one a pass for now. We'll kick it back to you.
Okay, I've got one. Bringing back an old favorite of mine. Fitzy, I bet that there will be an overtime game this week.
I'm sorry, Corby. There absolutely will. My senses are tingling and telling me that there will be an overtime game.
I don't think that there will be.
Oh my goodness.
I'm in.
Handshake. We're in.
I've got a bet in self-interest.
Okay.
All right.
I think that Amon-Ra St. Brown will be the highest scoring player on the Lions.
Fantasy scoring player.
Right.
Excluding Jared Goff, right?
Oh, with Jared Goff. I think he will score more points than Jared Goff.
Anyone else want to take the field? Or do you want us to all pick a player on the Lions?
No.
I'll take the field.
Asking the players? I'm just saying, I don't want to take all you guys can take the field.
I will take the field. Doesn't Amon-Ra have 12 targets both of the last 2 weeks? Crazy like that?
I think he's like 7 for 12 or 8 for
12.
12.
He's like the Lions Renfro, but yeah, no, I'm taking anyone else.
Player on my team is their Renfro. I have Cole Beasley as the Bills Renfro, Crowder, and they're all Renfros.
Dude. Your team makes me sick.
Wait, it's good though.
Ugh.
If they weren't healthy, my team would be
Hunter
awesome.
Renfro is so ugly. Ugh.
Hunter Renfro might be a wide receiver 1.
He is, but doesn't mean he's good looking. I think he's ugly.
He's a 2, but he's up there. But
he's really good.
I don't think enough people talk about the improbability of the fact that there's 2 professional athletes named Hunter Renfro.
Yeah, that's also fucking crazy.
Insane. Because Hunter's not a common name, and how many Hunters are professional athletes? Like none. How many Renfros are? Like 2, and that's them. It's insane.
I got to double. Do they spell it a different way too? The Renfro part.
Yeah.
I
think
do.
the other one is OE.
Even more astronomical odds. Absolutely not.
Because they're 2 different last names, yeah. But it's like their paths led to each other. I think they should get married, and they could do a hyphen, do Renfro.
Okay, so who's taking this bet? Jesus
take the field.
fucking Christ.
You don't want that bet, Corbett? Why not?
Wait.
That's an easy
Amon Ra.
$5.
Then why are you making it?
Because I believe in it, but because it's self-interest. I'm like, come on, Amon. Come on.
Come on, St. Brown. Come on, St. Brown. You better make that your team name. You better fucking make that your
I
team
can't
name.
change Donkey Dong.
Donkey Dong sucks.
Honky Dong is so good.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Come on, Ross St. Brown is way better though.
We'll see how he does. If he wins the bet this week, I will change it. I'll change it going into the championship.
Okay, so 50's taking the field. What about you, Chris? You want that one?
Yes.
Okay.
$17.
So wait, what? $17?
No. Not doing $17.
Well,
Give you $5 bets here.
We respect the sanctity of the $5 bet, even in
Yeah,
times
yeah.
of seltzer drinking.
So I'm
$5
out.
only.
So I'm out. Okay. Who's next? Who's got a bet?
I got another one here. This one's for anyone who wants to make it, because I am betting that my boy, currently the waiver wire darling, Tim Patrick, will have more targets than Cortland Sutton this week.
Oh, of course he will.
If he definitely will. He's the wide receiver one on that team.
Colin, why don't you pick up Tim Patrick and start him instead?
Oh, is he a free agent right now? Oh, because is that what you said that?
Not for long.
I respect anyone with two first names. I love Timmy Ricky. He's a great player. So I can't take that bet because
I'm sorry. I was looking at Mike's transaction screens. He has a little green plus next to him. Tim Patrick currently on Eric's team, so he is rostered
Eric's gonna win the league, man.
with Tim Patrick. So nobody wants that one.
No.
All right.
In case you didn't see it, anyone watching, Adam in the chat proposed a bet that I just want to talk about.
Oh yeah.
Adam says, react with handshake emoji if you want the action. Standing $5 bet for anyone that wants to take it. I say Taylor wins the championship. So far, he has 4 handshake emojis, and one of them is himself, by the way. So, and the other 3 are us: Corby,
Yeah.
Sean, and Colin, and not us. So anyone who wants some possibly free money or to fuel Taylor's rise to the top, because I'm happy to pay $5 for Taylor to win, just for the.
Agree.
shitstorm.
Again, totally agree.
So take the bet, go to the chat, give him a thumbs up. Go ahead. But Corby, if you had something.
Total fantasy points: Zach Wilson against the Dolphins, Trevor Lawrence against the Texans.
Zach Wilson.
I'll take Trevor Lawrence.
I don't know if the Jaguars score another touchdown this year. Like, with everything going on there, man.
They're going to score touchdowns, but I think that it'll all be running, right? They just got decimated by Rashad Penny and the Seahawks, so I think it'll just be. I don't know if Robinson's playing. I could see Carlos Hyde getting 200 yards.
Carlos Hyde. Want to make that bet?
No, I'm joking. He's terrible. Who else do they got?
Marquise Lee.
I'd take Zach Wilson.
You take Zach Wilson too?
Any day, yeah.
Okay.
Over Trevor Lawrence here.
I'll take I will take that.
I was gonna suggest Zach Wilson over Tom Brady, but for a $5 bet here, no.
Yeah, and I'm absolutely in on Zach Wilson for sure.
This is the week. This is Zach Wilson's week. The prophets have declared it so, and I think he's going to surprise everyone. I think Mike's going to have a great weekend before Christmas when Zach Wilson gives him and the Jets a nice fat Christmas present of 350 passing yards.
Do you think I'm sorry, do you think Zach Wilson will find Mike in the stands and give him the game ball?
Yes.
Oh, Mike's going to the game.
Yeah.
Mine's a loser's bracket bet. I want all of us to pick one player, and whoever makes it the furthest in the bracket as the loser wins.
Oh, okay.
So
we can pick the same player, but I want us all to actually, you know what? No, we can't all pick the same player, and we're going reverse standings. So Corby, you get first pick. Colin, you'll get second. I'll go third. Chris, you go fourth.
Our league.
I'm picking somebody to lose it all.
Our league.
In the losers bracket that we got the image
bracket.
in the show notes for, yeah.
And this is assuming people set their lineups.
Well, it's a big assumption.
All right.
What
You got to bake that into your model.
That's part of the thing.
Well, as a loser bracketer,
You cannot pick yourself. You cannot pick yourself.
I will play fair. But it'll be a rigged system. I'll tell you what. But go ahead. I'd like to see these bets I'd like to see myself.
Adam.
I think Adam's gonna
He's
be
cursed.
Yeah, absolutely.
The curse of the monkey's paw.
No, he's fucked. No.
I'm taking Chris Cloud up at, like I was saying earlier. He's my pick to lose, win it all. To win, lose it all.
Mike's team's getting hot right now, but I don't know. I'll bet you Saquon gets hurt again this week or something. He's got the bye. I want Mike.
Mike loves to lose on a bye.
All right, so that leaves me with Brandy or Cash. I will say Brandy advances farther to lose bracket than Cash this week, or forever.
All right. And Corbett, you had one more?
Yes, I have one more. Miles Sanders total touches, 17 and a half.
I gotta remind myself who they're playing this week. Anybody else have a hot take immediately on that one?
Boston Scott will take all the touches.
Oh, they're playing the Jets. Never mind. That was before their bye. They're playing Washington. They're playing Washington. Might be under. It's a Boston Scott week.
I would take under 2.
I would take the over because I have Miles Sanders, who I once offered to Corby, or who I once tried to trade my Cordarrelle Patterson to Corby for Miles Sanders, and he wouldn't budge. He wouldn't.
But I still traded for him.
So
Eventually, you got him.
Miles Sanders has had over 16 touches just one time this season.
Was it last week?
Yes. We'll
They're
see
a
what
different
happens.
team now, you know, since he got back from injury.
Okay, so who wants to
under
take
on that.
Does anyone want to take
I
the
said
over?
over.
Or okay, so you took that. I'll take it too. But I'll take I'm taking the under and I take it against you, Colin. Fitzy, you taking the under there too?
I am taking the under, yes.
Chris, you're partaking as well.
And
Colin, are you comfortable having $15 on the line?
Yeah.
Well, you just showed us your stock portfolio. It's not going well. So
That was a long time ago. I don't know how it's going now.
Let's track on over to the mailbag next. And first, a little bit of catch up. We had a late comment on episode 12 that I want to start off with. Mike Bokuniewicz chimes in and says, "Sorry, I did not comment in time. Stuffing is the best side. I agree mashed potatoes are overrated and cranberry sauce is great. I would love to try cranberry salad." He follows up. "Also, insert Bart Scott meme here. Thanks for the backup, Fitzy. You could have picked me in one." I wish I knew if that second one was sarcastic. Did I pick Mike? I don't remember.
no, I don't know. I don't listen to our podcast.
You're not the only one.
I'm like not a foodie, so maybe it'll be controversial, but like Thanksgiving in general is just like not like I don't really like stuffing. I don't like cranberry sauce. I love mashed potatoes, and I was really upset, especially I don't remember exactly what you said, Fitzy, but how could an Irishman like yourself say anything but glowing, beautiful words about the world's greatest vegetable fruit tuber, whatever it is?
Listen, I agreed simply that mashed potatoes are, I think I later compared Hunter Renfro to mashed
You
potatoes,
said-
who I love.
Okay, you were like, oh, if I got some radish or purple stuff or whatever.
I did, yeah. Well, purple stuff. No, it's the mashed up turnips. That's
Turnips,
orange.
that's what you said.
It's good stuff.
Turnips are orange, are red, are sometimes purple on the outside though.
Yeah.
So that's why I was thinking purple. I've never had a radish, I think. There was an old radish field next to my house. I used to feed my dog, man. He loves radishes or turnips. I keep saying radishes. Turnips. So I love potatoes. I'm a big potato guy. I'm on team potato. You get them baked, you get them mashed, you get hash browns, grits, all those potatoes. I don't even know.
You come at me with vitriol about my turnip
What
take,
vitriol?
and then proceed to say that you've never tried it. So thank you, Colin.
I'm not cheating on Mr. Potato.
Okay, so let's move on to this week's comments here. First, the editing department would like to apologize for spoiling the power ranking last week. Thanks for being the best fans in the podcast game and accepting us as we are. Ah, shoot, I forgot to delete the power ranking visuals. Please look away to avoid spoilers. Did you look away?
Thank you for reading that. Thank you for reading that, Corby. Colin, I see you shaking your head no. Were you spoiled?
I was spoiled, and just the complete firestorm that I saw on social media about like firing the editor and hashtag cancel Why Do Boys Make Podcast video producer, all the memes that everyone was making. I thought it was a little unwarranted. People are people. We're all human, except Adam. So, it's it is what it is. It's okay. I forgive whoever did it.
Yeah, whoever did it. Anyway, thanks again for being the best fans of the podcast game. Next, we had a new commenter, Moneybags, who hits us with, wow, great guest. This guy really knows his football and is charming and handsome to boot.
Moneybags is a great character in Spyro 2, so hell yeah, sure. Thanks, Moneybags. Chris Colby also chimes in and says, can't wait to get cousin Steven back in the league.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he's in line to be the next person to skip over Eric Wardner. What do you guys think?
How many openings are next year?
We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, who
Did
knows?
say that about Steven? Is that what you said?
I was just saying, like, Steve wants to, I think Steve is the next person to jump in front of Eric.
Is that not
As a founding member, it's his birthright.
It's true. People have left and come back, so
It's true.
not leave. I mean, been forced out.
Well, some have been forced out and come back. Some said, I don't want to this year. I'm going to walk for a little while instead. So,
True.
Colin, we're happy that you're back in the league. Another founding father who found his way back.
Speaking of which, Colin, you actually have a comment here. Would you like to read your comment
Sure.
so I don't mince your words for you?
Bush did 9/11. Down with. Oh, I'm sorry. This is the wrong tab. Corby welcoming back the coin is always my favorite part of any episode.
And I had to hop on the ones and twos to say, it's my job to flip the coin. And Corby has to remind me every time. Corby, I just want to appreciate you for a second. You really keep the show on the rails.
Colin, you have another comment here, please. Can you please read your comment?
I said, I wanted a special holiday episode. I said, can you guys equate some players with corresponding Christmas songs? And what I meant was like, kind of like I think you did with, I don't remember if that's what you did with the side stuff, or maybe it isn't. But I just wanted you to like think of songs and not just players that would like that song makes you think of. But it didn't really make sense to me. So then I commented again. I said, and some Christmas pun player names.
So you're thinking like a la Kyle Rudolph, the Red Zone Reindeer, right? Like stuff like that.
So eventually, that's what I said. Yeah, the first one I meant like maybe a Christmas song that you really hate, but maybe you hate, love it, and you listen to it, and that would be like a fantasy player that you just can't stay away from. And I was like, that's too hard. Like that's too complicated. We can just do pun names.
All right. Well, I've got a couple Christmas songs because that's the way I took it. Anybody else got one they want to start with?
Yeah, no, that's what I eventually meant. Yeah. So I had a couple, and I'm really mad because like I wanted to have a whole list. I just didn't have enough time. It turned out finals this week, so it's tough for me. Mm-hmm. I have Here Comes Santa Claus.
Oh, that's good. Let's go back and forth. First, we'll go in a circle. Chris, do you have any to bring here?
Chris, do you have any? Mr. No Puns? Are you Googling?
No, I did an hour ago, and Dak the Halls.
Nice.
That's good.
Nice.
Dak the Halls is good.
Yeah,
Colin. To play off of Dak the Halls, I actually have one based off of a player who is not in the league anymore. It's Deck the Balls, as in like Monte Ball.
Oh, he's gross. Fitzy, did you have a?
I got a couple. The first one, that German version of a Christmas tree. Oh Tannehill, oh Tannehill. So that's the first one I got.
It's pretty good.
Tenenbaum. Yeah, sure. I'm creaming of a white Christmas.
Okay. I'm saving mine for last.
I'm reaming for white Christmas.
No, same song, different idea.
Right, can we mesh them?
I was saving it for last. This is my closer, but I'll hit it because it does.
Chris,
no, if it's your closer, then save your closer.
All right.
Do you have any more, Chris? Or
I only looked up one.
All right. So this one isn't based off of a fantasy player. I know. I cheated the whole thing. So it's You're a Mean One, Mr. Griggs. And
you just went freestyle with fun.
Yeah. And as for like a song that a Christmas song that reminds me of one of my players, I would say Santa Baby reminds me of Tom Brady.
Nice.
Yeah, that's what I meant the first time. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Nice. I also had a Grinch themed one. I had You're a Mean One, Marshawn Lynch. So that's more just like a rhyme,
That's
great.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Colin, you got another?
No, that was all I had. So
All right. So you had the I'm Dreaming of a White Christmas one. This one's just for you, Colin. I had this. I wrote this one out, and I decided I'm gonna sing it for you. This is an original song just for Colin.
Wait, it's original.
I'm dreaming of a white Theo, just like Dan Woodhead used to go. May Rex Burkhead put up 12.5, and may all your running backs be white. So that's just for you, Colin. I know you like PPR white running backs.
I would have went with Danny Woodhead, but they probably wouldn't have fit with the song. But that was a beautiful tune.
Like Christmas McCaffrey.
Christmas.
Finally, Tyler, longtime fan, first time commenter, hits us up with best episode so far. Great guest. I hate fantasy.
8 out of 10.
It really means a lot when he says it's the best one so far. I mean, he's one to really judge.
So yeah, I guess before we sign off here, we always give the floor to our guests. Chris and Colin, thank you both very much for being on. I'm sure that it's hard to make time to hang out with your friends on a Wednesday night. So if you have anything you'd like to say, any shouts out, anything, please, the floor is, I guess, both of yours. One of you go first. Don't talk at the same time.
Well, I'll say, all I do anyways is just play Farming Simulator when I get home from work. So that would have been my night, and it's going to be my night after this. Shout out, though, to everyone in the league, because you all make it a great Christmas. What? I don't know. I forgot what I was going to say. I was thinking of something. You make it a great. I don't know. It's always a good time. My least favorite of any fantasy year, but looking forward to next year.
You had your high points. You were due for a low one,
Yeah. It's one of those alternating things.
Two things that I'd like to plug or give a shout out to. First, I'm going to say it again. I don't think anyone followed through. I'll try to leave a comment. I made a video for one of my classes. My dog
I saw it.
Oh, you didn't watch it? Did you like it?
I did like it.
My dog is in it, and I guess my daughter too, but my dog is in it, so my dog is great. He's awesome. He turned 9 a couple weeks ago. He's 9 years old now. It's my daughter's birthday today, but my dog turned 9 a couple weeks ago, so he's doing great. He's doing good. If anyone was worried, he's doing really good. He gets his exercise. He's still running around like a puppy. And then I want to give a shout out to Linda Cardinelli. She's doing great still. You might remember her from Freaks and Geeks. She plays, what was her name, Sam in that show or something? I don't remember. Remember that show with Busy Phillips and James Franco was in it? Seth Rogen.
Jason Segel.
Yeah, so shout out to her. She's still doing great. I've seen her in Dead to Me. You've seen that on Netflix? She voiced the Cloud Girl on Regular Show.
Oh, is that the one where Grimes does the theme song?
No, it's Hilda. That's a cartoon.
Okay.
Who does that?
She played Velma in the Scooby-Doo live action
film.
film.
She played Velma. Yeah, so she's always doing great things.
She's a star.
She's cool. I like her a lot. Yeah, watch Hilda. Good. It's an animated show. I watch it with Adelaide. It's one of those branches of Adventure Time, right? So you had because just like Coaching Trees, Adventure Time has a really cool animation tree.
Yeah,
because it has what do they got? Steven Universe. That's cool. I like Steven Universe. I haven't watched it. I haven't watched it in years. I don't know if it's still on, but I used to watch it sometimes. It's okay. Over the Garden Wall. You guys ever seen that?
Yeah, that's all right.
No, it's beautiful. It's great. It's the best. There's an evil witch named Adelaide. That's how I heard the name. That's how I got.
You named her after the evil witch.
Evil witch.
Yeah. Kim wouldn't agree with that we named her after her, but that's where I heard the name and liked it. Bee and Puppy Cat. That's another. That was all these people all worked on this show and then it branched off. You guys don't know that? And then Hilda. No. I forget the names of the people, but all right. It's just really cool that one show was influential enough to these people all got their own shows and they're all doing good. I'm a big animation fan.
Kind of like the coaching tree of Andy Reid, right?
Yeah.
Or the coaching tree of Sean McVay.
Or Belichick.
You have a cup of coffee with Sean McVay, offensive coordinator. There you go. So I would like to thank one more time both of our guests today. Sorry, Colin, did you have something else I see you like?
No, I'm just like stretching and moving.
All right, cool.
Thinking about how my whole segment's gonna get cut. It's cool.
That's the best part.
No, just keep the stuff about about the video. That's it. You don't have to keep the rest.
Yeah, well, if we're talking about the video, Colin, turn comments on.
Oh, I don't know how. Google can sometimes like automatically detect children.
Because there's a baby in it.
Yeah, they can automatically detect.
All right,
it's amazing. I don't know how to do it.
I want to hold your baby.
That's fair. 117 views. You're pulling numbers like this pod could only dream of.
I've shown this video to everybody I know. There's also an unlisted video that I'm not proud of that will never see the light of day. Good luck, hackers.
Can't wait.
You can't wait because it's never happening. You can wait, but go on.
I was gonna say thank you once again to both of our guests today, Chris and Colin, for being on the line. Corby, I'd like to thank you as well for being here as you are every week. And it's time to, as Corby said last week, close the door and walk away slowly from another episode of the Why Do Boys Make podcast. On your way out, if you could be so kind, please smash that like button. Ring the bell as well. When's the last time we had a new subscriber, Corby? It's time. We're due. Next week, we look forward to a new guest on the pod, Mike Bokuniewicz. Please leave a comment down below and we'll ask him live on air. With that, I'm Fitzy.
I'm Corbett.
I'm Colin.
And I'm Chris. And gamer is game on.
Game on.